something about you. Got me feeling like I can't be without you. Anytime someone mention your name, I be feeling as if I'm around you. Ain't no words to describe you.
Hey guys, it's Sophie from Smile for Style and welcome back to my channel. Today you might be wondering why I am in my crafting studio. Well, that is because I'm going to be showing you how to make 3 really fun and fall festive DIYs for this new season. I'm super excited, and not all of these DIYs are for Halloween, so you can use them all the way until Thanksgiving. And these DIYs make a great room decor. They're really going to brighten up your room for the fall season. So without further ado, let's get started, and I hope you enjoy. So for the first DIY, we're going to be making this really cute fall candle, and I just love how it looks. It looks so festive, and I love to put this in my room at night because since it is a candle, I love to put candles in my room at night. So this is just, it really brightens up my room. It is so cute, and I just love it. So if you want to learn how to make it, stay tuned. So for this DIY, you are going to need some artificial leaves, and I got this whole entire roll at Michael's. And I got 2 because I like the variety of colors. You can also get something like this. I got this one at Party City. They're smaller leaves and they come in like a roll like this. You're also going to need a hot glue gun. You're going to need either wire cutters or scissors. I prefer wire cutters because it's a lot easier to cut this. Then you are going to need raffia, which is like this grassy ribbon, I guess. And then I have 3 different kinds of jars here. You don't need 3. I'm just going to show you like different jars you can use. You can use a mason jar, which is already like clean, or you can use a tomato, like a tomato sauce jar. Just make sure if you're going to use one of these, make sure that you rinse them very well because they need to be clean, and remove the paper. It's okay if there is still a little bit of paper because we're going to be covering it up with the leaves. And I have a smaller example, so it's your choice, whatever you want to use. And the last thing you're going to need is a fake candle because this is flammable, so we don't want to use real candles. So, yeah. Okay, so the first thing you're going to want to do is you're going to take your wire cutters or your scissors, and you are going to clip off all the leaves. You want to make sure you cut them all the way to the stem because you don't want that stem to show. So you want to make sure you have enough leaves to cover the entire jar. So I'm going to go ahead and do that right now. Okay, so I have finished cutting all my leaves, and I think I have a little more than I needed, but I just want to make sure that I have enough. So now we're going to start gluing the leaves to the jar. You want to make sure that your glue gun is ready, and you want to start with the bigger leaves because it would just look cuter. Like if you have different size leaves, it would look a lot cuter if the little ones are on top of the big one. Also, another thing that you want to keep in mind is you don't want to overlap the leaves too much because then the candle inside won't shine through the leaves as easily, so you want to kind of keep it thin. Just cover the area where you can see the glass jar. So I'm going to go ahead and start gluing. So what you're going to do is you want to glue the stem of the leaf, and you want to put quite a bit of glue there just to make sure that it'll hold. And once you are done, you want to stick it onto your jar wherever you like. As you can see, I've already done one. And some people may have seen this craft before and might be wondering why I'm not using Mod Podge. Well, the reason why I don't like to use Mod Podge is it takes forever to dry. So I like to use something fast, and I know that the glue will hold the leaves very securely. So I love to use hot glue. And now, as you can see what I'm doing, I'm just like gluing any other little flaps of the leaves that might be sticking out. So you want to go ahead and do that for the entire jar. And you want to use different colors to, make it more colorful. So just continue gluing those leaves onto the jar. And again, remember guys, try not to overlap them as much so that way you can see the brightness inside. So this is how it's looking so far. I'm almost done. Okay, so I have finished gluing all my leaves onto the jar, and as you can see I had a little extra there, but I just wanted to make sure I had enough. So this is what it looks like once it's finished. Now you are going to take some raffia, which is this grassy kind of ribbon. I don't know how to describe it, but this is what it looks like. You don't have to use raffia. You can use like, not thread, but twine or just something that looks, you know, nice for fall. This is what scarecrows are made out of, I guess. It looks like straw. I don't think it's straw, but yeah. Okay, I just made a mess there. But anyways, you are going to just take a long piece like this, and you are going to wrap it around. It can be a little tricky because of the leaves, but if you do have one of those jars that, you know, you have to like screw the top on, try to like make it tight enough so you can grip it there. And I like to, as you can see, kind of double it so it comes back in the front, and you are going to tie a cute little bow right in the front. Okay, so this is what it looks like. I just tied the bow, and no, I'm not going to leave it like that. But what I like about this is that it has like layers, so you can just kind of separate them and make it nice and cute. And then you're going to take the excess, and depending on how long you want it, you're just going to go ahead and cut it. So I want mine kind of like that. And do the same to the other side. If they're not even, you can go ahead and clip them until they are even. And there you go. Now we are ready to put the candle inside. Okay, so we are now going to put the candle in, and you want to make sure you can turn it on before you put it in, unless your hands are small enough to get in there. But mine aren't, so just turn it on and stick it in there. And that's how it looks. Of course, since it's bright, you can't really see it, but when it is dark, it's going to look really cool. Like at night when you're going to bed, you can just turn it on and it will just brighten up your room for the fall. So this is the first DIY. Stay tuned if you want to see the next two. So the next DIY we're going to be making is this really cute fall festive bouquet of flowers. It's so colorful, and since they are fake, they will not die, so you can use it this year, and you can even use it next year, all the way until November when fall sadly leaves us. But yeah, I just love how it came out, and the burlap really does give it a more festive look. So yeah, let's go ahead and get started with this craft. The materials you're going to need are some festive artificial plants. Make sure they look like, you know, kind of fall-ish if you want. They don't have to, but they just look a lot more festive that way. Then you're going to need some burlap, which you can purchase at a craft store. And also you want to make sure it's pretty big. I'd say this is about 5 inches of thickness. I'm not sure. I'm not good with that. I'm sorry. Then you're going to need this foam that you can, I don't know how to describe it. Basically, it's this green kind of foam. It comes in white, and it just helps the flowers stand upright. Then you're going to need your choice of ribbon. I chose purple because it's Halloween-ish. Scissors or wire cutters for that, and a hot glue gun. So to start, we are going to be working with our 2 foam pieces, and I chose to do it circular. You can do it like a cube shaped, but I just like the shape of it being circular. And I couldn't find one that was tall enough, and I wanted it to be tall, so I bought 2. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to glue the edges of the foam, and I'm just going to stick it to the other piece. Again, make sure you use a lot of hot glue to make it secure so it doesn't fall off, and just stick it right on, just like that. Next, I'm going to take the burlap and I'm going to just wrap it around the foam, just like that. And then taking your scissors, you are going to cut it where the 2 ends of the burlap meet. And I'm going to leave about 1/2 inch just to make sure, you know, I'm not running low on it or anything. And you want to do this twice because since burlap is, like, you can see through it, then you don't want to see through the foam. So I cut 2 pieces, as you can see. You can cut as many as you want, but I just think 2 would be enough to hide the green color of the foam. Next, you're just going to take 1 piece and we're going to glue it to the foam. So I'm just going to glue 1 long strip of glue right here, and you are going to stick it right on. And as you can see, the burlap is a little bit longer than the foam, but that's okay because I want it to like cover a little bit of the top and the bottom. So that is perfectly fine. And I'm just going to wrap it all the way around. You don't have to glue like every single piece of burlap on, just as long as it stays secure. And you want to kind of like tug on it just to make sure it's not going to slip off. So I'm going to add a little extra glue here. and stick the other side. Okay, so once you do that, you're going to want to do the same thing with the other strip of burlap. So, as you can see, I've also sealed it on the back with hot glue. Now, what you're going to do, if your burlap is longer than your piece of foam, you're going to cut little strips, not too long, but just enough so that way they reach the very edge of the foam. And you're going to want to do this all the way around, on both sides. So you're just going to want to cut strips all the way around, and this may be a little difficult because this is burlap and it is thick, but just try and get those pieces cut. And they don't have to be that thin, so I cut right here, and I'm cutting about 1 inch away. I'm not cutting all the way down, I'm just cutting until I reach the edge of the burlap. I mean, not the burlap, the foam. So you want to go ahead and do that all the way around. Okay, so once you have cut all your strips all the way down to the very edge of the foam, you're going to do one strip at a time. Just glue the foam right there, and you're going to bring that strip down and glue it. So what this does, instead of putting it all down, as you can see, that kind of makes those little bumps, and it's not going to hold the vase, the flower vase, upright, so we want it to be as flat as possible. So again, you want to do it one at a time, and be careful again, because since the burlap has holes, you can burn yourself with the glue. I'm quite used to it because I craft a lot, but yeah, if that bothers you, what you can do is you can just kind of hold the glue down just like that. It may take a while, but it's possible. So you want to go ahead and do that all the way around. And it looks like a mess, but it's not going to look that way when it is finished. Okay, so once you have finished, it should look like this. And yeah, it looks a little messy, but at least it's not as bad as it was. So there is going to be one side that is more stable than the other. So you can just test it out and see which one wobbles more. The one that is more stable is going to be the base, just so that way the vase holds a lot more stable. And then the non-stable is where we're going to be sticking the flowers in. So just go ahead and test it. I think this side is more stable. So this is going to be the top and this is going to be the bottom. So let's move on. Okay, so next you are going to take your ribbon, and I chose purple because it looks very Halloween. And this one is so cool because it's like kind of translucent, so you can see the burlap through it. So I'm just going to go ahead and, I don't know how much I'll need, but I'm just going to estimate that this is about right. And the part that you sealed, like this back part where you sealed the burlap pieces together, that's going to be the back. So you want to make sure that that part is not visible. So what we're going to do here is we're going to tie a bow. So I'm just going to bring this all the way over here, and you want to make sure that the bow is on the other side of the seal. So go ahead and tie a bow. And of course that is way too long, so I'm going to go ahead and cut off the excess. Make sure it is even. Okay, so that is what we have so far, and now is the easy part. We get to decorate our vase with all those pretty artificial flowers. Okay, so I have all of my artificial flowers right here, and I'm not just going to use flowers, I'm also going to be using some leaves. And the leaves that we used for the last DIY, you can totally put those in as well. Just anything that is going to make this look nice and festive. I have a couple flowers here that I just like them because of the color, but I'm mainly going to use these. So just go ahead, and you're going to need your wire cutters because these are made of wire, or at least the stem is. And you're going to cut enough so that way you can measure it. You don't want it to be like too deep down, and it doesn't even have to reach the bottom. You can just go ahead and stick it in. And what I like to do is I like to bring the leaves up just like that, as you can see. And this flower is kind of messed up, so I'm going to fix it. And yeah, so you can like adjust the height of the leaves just by bringing it up and down. And you're just going to stick it right in there. Just like that. And the reason why we did not want to put glue, like when we were gluing these two pieces of foam together in the beginning, we did not want to glue like in the center because then it would be hard for the flower to go through the glue. So that's why we glued around the edge. So you're going to go ahead and decorate your vase however you want. And you can add as many flowers as you want as well. So just go ahead and stick those in. And also another thing you want to look out for is you want to try to hide as much of the green foam as possible. Just try to put as many leaves there as you can. And also you want to try to hide the edge of the burlap where you can kind of see the glue, like where you glued it. So the leaves I'm using right now, they don't have like wire so I can stick them in there. But what I'm just going to do is I'm going to stick them, you know, just right there. And they're pretty secure, just as long as you get the stem in there. So I'm just cutting about, I don't know if you can see it, but about this much of stem. Just so that way you can kind of get it gripped in there. And also, the leaves that I got came with these really cute little fruits, I guess. I don't know what they are. But I am going to add those because it would be nice to have a variety. So this is all like your choice. You can decorate it however you want. And it doesn't even have to be for fall. You can make this bouquet of flowers like in the spring. So it is all up to you the way you want to decorate it. And try to fill it up as much as you can because again, you want to try to hide as much of that green as possible. So I'm just sticking little things in there to kind of get that covered. And of course we want to have some color. So I'm going to get these purple flowers in there. And I'm just going to bring the leaves up. And we are done with our beautiful fall bouquet of flowers. And I just love how it came out. So I'm going to go see how this looks in my room. And the cool thing about this is that you don't only have to use it for Halloween. You can use it all the way until Thanksgiving because it is all made of fall flowers. And you can even use it for next year because the cool thing about fake flowers is that they won't die. So that is pretty awesome. So I'm going to go put this in my room and yeah, it came out really cool. So I'm so happy. Okay, so the last craft we're going to be making is this really cute homemade candle, and I just love how it looks. I love how the candle just shines through the glitter, and it is just so cute. I love it. It's so Halloween-ish, I guess. I don't know, but I love the colors, and it's just, I love it. So I'm going to show you guys how to make this really cute candle. By the way, these are real flames, so be very careful. But yeah, I'm going to show you how to make this. So the materials that you're going to need for this last craft is, this is optional, but this is a sealing spray because we're going to be working with glitter and all that stuff, so you want to have your glitter sealed just to make sure it doesn't fall off. So this is optional. I got it at Michael's. I don't remember how much it was, but this does work great and I love it. So if you don't have it, that's fine. It's still going to survive, but it would be nice to have this. Next, you are going to need Mod Podge with a sponge. I like to use these foundation sponges. You can use those black art sponges if you'd like. Then we are going to need some wax cubes. So these are scented wax cubes, and I chose pumpkin spice because this is a Halloween craft. And basically they just look like that. So you can get this at a craft store or any other supply store. You're going to need a glass vase or jar, something small. And I found this one at Michael's. It's a square, which is cute because I don't have any square candles. So this is perfect. Then you're going to need some glitter. I have here 2 different colors to make it more Halloween. Then I need masking tape and cord or twine. So let's get started. Okay, so to begin this craft, we are going to be taping the edges of our candle. So I have here 2 different sizes of masking tape. This one actually isn't masking tape. This is washi tape, but it still works the same. So since I have a smaller candle, I'm going to be using the smaller masking tape. So you can use this one as well, but it's just going to come out like a lot thicker. So I'm going to be using the small one. And you can do it either horizontally or vertically. It's your choice. I'm going to be doing it vertically. So what I'm going to do is you are going to take your washi tape or masking tape, and I'm going to need about this much just to cover the entire side because that's all that we're going to be painting. And you are going to place that wherever you want. So the areas where we're taping are going to be the areas that are not going to be painted the first time. Of course, we're going to paint the whole thing, but since we are using 2 different colors, we don't want to, you know, mix them. So So you can tape wherever you want. You can even make them thinner or thicker than they are. Just make sure that they are perfectly horizontal or vertical. You can even do both, like a hashtag or whatever you call it. But yeah, it's all up to you. You can do whichever design your heart desires. And you are going to do this all the way around the entire candle. So once you have taped your candle the way you like it, it is time to start painting. We're not going to really be painting, but we are going to be taking our Mod Podge, and I just poured a little bit onto the cap. And also, since we are working with glitter, you want to make sure that you put like a plastic plate or a sheet of paper like I did, so that way you don't make a mess. So I am going to just dip the sponge into the Mod Podge, and you are going to paint the sides only of the candle. You don't want to paint the top. You could if you want to, but just for safety reasons, you know, because you never know if a piece of glitter can fall into the fire. We are using real candles this time, so you want to be very careful. Don't paint the inside of the candle, because again, since we are using hot flames and wax, we don't want to like melt anything or cause a fire, just in case. I mean, I don't know if that would happen, but still, you don't want to take chances when it comes to fire. So I know I'm kind of just like lecturing everyone right now. But yeah, so basically what you want to do is just paint the entire sides with Mod Podge. And since Mod Podge dries kind of slow, then we have plenty of time to paint the entire thing, and then we are going to sprinkle the glitter over the Mod Podge. Okay, so once you have painted the entire sides, all the sides with Mod Podge, you are going to sprinkle the glitter. So I'm just going over them just to make sure that they are all coated with Mod Podge. And you are now going to sprinkle the glitter. So I'm first going to be using purple. What you're going to do is you are just going to, basically sprinkle it on. And don't worry about spilling out the whole thing, because that's what the paper here is for. So just sprinkle it all on. Just make a mess and have fun. But make sure you clean it up afterwards. So yeah, this is going to take a while, but basically this is what you're going to do. Just sprinkle it all on. And if you run out, you can just grab whatever's on the paper. So once you have sprinkled glitter all the way around, just give it a little bang to get rid of any excess glitter. Oh, that's going to make a mess. Just trying to scoot it over. Okay, so once you are done, you are going to remove the tape ever so carefully. It would actually be better if you take it from the top. So just go ahead and remove it, and look how cool that looks. That just looks really cool. You can even just leave it like that if you want to. You don't have to do the other color. But I'm going to do it because I like to have lots of colors. So just go ahead and remove the tape all over the sides. Okay, so now we have to be extra careful, because since we cannot tape the areas where we painted purple, this is only if you want to do two colors. If not, it looks really cute like that, as you can see. But I'm going to go ahead and do two colors. So we are going to just carefully apply the Mod Podge only on the areas where we did not paint. Okay, so as you can see, I've already sprinkled a little bit of orange. So you are going to do that on all the areas where you did not apply the purple glitter, and you're just going to apply a thick coat because, you know, just want to make sure that that glitter does not fall off. So go ahead and apply. Man, this glitter is just so annoying. Okay, so this is what it looks like when it is all finished, and I am absolutely in love with it. I am like full of glitter right now, so if you see like anything shining around me, that is the beautiful mess that I have made with glitter. So once you are finished, you are going to, this is optional like I said, if you don't have this, that's fine, but this is just going to help the glitter stay onto the edge of the candle. So if you don't have this, again, that's fine, but I'm just going to go ahead and spray this with the sealing spray. Once we are done sealing the sides of the candle, we are now going to go ahead and melt the wax. And what I like to do with this is I like to put it like in a measuring cup, something where I can easily pour it in here and without like burning myself or anything. So when I melt this, I usually like to put it in the microwave for about 3.5 minutes. Every microwave is different, but just as long as yours is completely melted, like you don't want to have any clumps of this, you want it all to be melted. So as long as that is good, then that is perfect. So I don't know if that makes sense, but whatever. So you're going to go ahead and melt this, and we will be right back. So I'm going to go to my kitchen and melt this. Okay, so I have here my melted candle wax, and it is super hot, so be careful, don't touch it. That's why I brought my gloves. So now what we're going to do is we are going to gently pour it into the candle. Okay, sorry, it's just like, it smells so bad right now because it's like burning hot. But when it cools off, it's going to smell better. So as you can see, it's like really liquidy and very hot, so don't touch it. So you want to make sure you have enough time to work with this candle. Like you don't want it to like get hard immediately. So I'm just going to go ahead and pour it right into my candle. And you want to make sure that you have enough, and I do have enough, which is great. So let's go ahead and put the little cord in, which is going to hold the flame. Okay. Alright, so still trying to get over that. Alright, try not to breathe it because, I mean, it's not bad, but it smells really bad. So, okay, so now we're going to move on to the cords. You have I have two examples. This is the one I showed you earlier, and when I make candles, I usually use this one because it's a lot more stiff and it doesn't have like that loose, like, this one has like flyaways, I don't know, because like with hair, you call it flyaways, get it? But yeah, okay. So I'm going to be using this one, and I'm going to use a color that matches. So I have here orange and green. I think I'm going to use the green one. So you're going to want to make sure that it reaches the very bottom of the candle, and you want it to go over just a little bit. So I'd say maybe cut about 3 inches. I'm just estimating, so you can, depending on how high your candle is. So this part might take a while, so you're going to want to wait until your candle wax is a little bit harder, kind of like a paste. Not that hard, but just enough so that way you don't like have to hold this for a very long time, because what you want to do is hold the string in there, or the cord, until the wax dries, so that way you can just let it go and it'll stand right there. So I'm just going to go ahead and wait for the wax to dry up a little bit, but you don't want to wait too long because once it's too late, it's going to be too hard and you cannot stick that in there. So I'm just going to wait about a minute or so. Okay, so my wax is finally hard enough for me to stick my cord in. And in case you're wondering why my cord is so thick, that is because before, when my candle wax was liquidy, I kind of dipped it in there. And the reason why you want to do this is so that way when you turn the candle on, the flame will not like go burning everywhere. It'll just melt the wax and then work its way down. So I'm just going to go ahead and stick it right in the middle. So right now the wax at the top is a lot more dry than the wax in the bottom, if you'll notice, because when you poke your cord in there, it's going to kind of be a little difficult at the top, but once you get down lower, it's going to be like all liquidy. So as you can see, my cord is sticking there quite firmly, and I'm just going to wait for that to dry because it's still a little bit, it's not hot, so if you touch it, you'll kind of feel like it moves around, but it's still pretty hard. It's hard enough for the cord just to stay there. And as you can see, my cord is a little long, so I'm going to go ahead and trim it, but just try not to wiggle it that much because then it's going to kind of get out of place. You want it to stay almost vertical, so try not to touch it that much. I would recommend, if you do want to cut it, wait till it's completely firm. And to test it, you want to slightly pull it out, but try not to pull it out too much because then it'll be hard to stick it back in there. But, you know, just wait a couple minutes and see if your cord is ready to be clipped, if it is necessary. If not, then you are finished. But let's go ahead and wait until this is dry. Okay, so it's been about 3 minutes, and I'm just going to go ahead and test it. Remember, again, try not to pull it out that firmly, because then you are going to pull it out, and it's going to be really hard to get it back in there. So just wiggle it around. If it stays in place, that means it's ready. So now what I'm going to do is, as you can see, the wax is like down there. I want the very end of my cord to be about half an inch away from the wax. So I'm just going to hold the wax just to make sure it doesn't fall out, and I am going to gently just clip it. This might be a little difficult, but it is possible. So that's how it should look, and now we are all finished. So we're going to go ahead and turn it on, and guys, please be careful. This is the most dangerous part, but we are going to see how cool this looks. Okay, so my candle is finally finished, and this is the finishing look. I just love how it looks. It's so like sparkly and everything, so yeah, I'm so excited. Alright, so we're going to turn it on and test it out. So guys, since this is a homemade candle, please be very careful. Just try to avoid anything flammable around you, just in case anything happens. I'm not saying you're gonna burn or anything, like burn your house down or whatever. That's not gonna happen, but still, we want to be on the safe side. So we are going to carefully test it. Ooh, look at that. That is so cool. You don't want to walk away. You're just going to like wait here and see what happens. Once you're comfortable with the way your candle looks, then you can walk away. Now guys, since this is a homemade candle, you don't want to leave it burning by itself. Now, same goes for like even if it's a candle from Bath & Body Works, even if it's like made from a store or something, still it's fire. And I mean, personally for me, I would not like to leave a candle like in a room burning by itself. So, but just because this one is a homemade candle, you never know what can happen. I'm not saying it's going to burn your room or anything. I'm just saying please be very careful because this is fire and it is a hazard. So, yeah, so basically this is finished candle. This is the finished candle. So, we made like 2 candles today, which is so cool. Alright, so I'm going to go put this in my room and see how it looks. And it's just so cool. So you can see how it just like burns through the glitter. And yeah, so that is the finished craft. And we are finished with our 3 fall festive DIYs. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please send me recreations on Instagram using the hashtag #SmileForFall. Instead of #SmileForStyle, it is #SmileForFall. I would love to see your recreations. I'm sure they're going to be so amazing. Everyone has their own unique way of crafting, and I truly admire that. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please subscribe to my channel if you have not already, and I will talk to you later. Bye!